Hey, what's up everyone? So this is going to be the 96 opening that I'd like to share with you, which is named after Heath. So essentially, this is another new branch of Black's variation against White diagonal opening that I'd like to cover. So let's quickly run through the sequence. It's a short one. So F5, F6, the standard diagonal sequence, E6, D6, and then over here we've already covered the first couple of ones, and then right now we're going to cover on Heath. So Heath being to E7, which is the only other +0 move or draw move expected from the software perspective. I think it's a lot less played than Cow at C5. So interestingly, even though it's also +0, but it's a lot less played by most players, mainly because it's a very edge play oriented opening. So I would say that it's a high risk, high reward kind of opening as compared to Cow. So Cow, would probably be slightly more conservative in the playout. Most of the moves tend to revolve around the center. E7 tends, which opens up Heath, tends to revolve around the edge play that causes a lot of potential high risk. Situations. So let's just jump into this sequence. So I would say that Heath creates many options for both players, similar to Cow. And also, it tends to surprise your opponent who is using white diagonal because it's a lot less played, less frequently played. So I would say that it's good if you're confident with it, but in terms of the options, I would say that it's an open field for both sides to create variations. So it tends to result in very varied opening, and it's hard to actually understand all the openings. So I would say that this opening, I would recommend this for players who are very confident in their basic skills, or at least relatively against who you're facing in terms of your opponent. And if you know your opponent is playing a diagonal and he may not be as strong a player as you are, then perhaps that's something to think about. So I would say in general, diagonal white players tend to be quite familiar with their opening. So yeah, even more so, there's a lower probability of actually having Heath work out. So G5 is the main book line that is probably most commonly played, followed by either F4 or F7. So I think that's reflective of the ratings. I don't think F3 and F8 and D8 are even seen that much, especially the bottom two. I think F3 it's still possible. I've seen people play online once or twice before. So yeah, I would say the most popular variation would be the G5 follow up. So that's something you can prepare for, and we'll cover more in detail in terms of the lines for G5, which is Heath Bet, onwards in the next episode. So yeah, I definitely recommend this for advanced players and above because it's relatively hard to play, and at the same time, your basic skill has to be higher than your opponent in terms of facing off the out of book situations. That is, tends towards the edge play early on in the game, the mid game. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you like this opening, and you can probably consider it if you really want to train up your edge play. So I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Goodbye.